Hello guys, welcome to another video explaining about the Dungeon Sweeper. I have made two other videos where you can see how the strategy regarding getting an S clear solo and an SS clear using having two players in your party. But in this video I will be explaining a little bit more about the shop and the runestone tab itself, because it seems still a lot of players are confused about how everything works and which runestone to select and what to get. So the first thing, let's go to the Dungeon Sweeper, which is located in multiplayer. You will unlock it once you hit level 65. At the start you will only be able to go into the Wailing Cavern. If you look at a card drop here, you will see can either get the Wicked Ore, which is a resource used in the shop, or you can get the crystals, which will later be used to augment your runestone. So in the quest there should be a challenge to get some of the runestones, so I think that gives you 4 runestones. So in that case you only have to buy 1 extra runestone in the shop here if you want to have one on all 5 of your members. I advise buying the elemental pack, and you can buy inscribe and sage stones here, which I will also explain later. And for the rest you can buy all the HP crystals needed to augment. So let's talk a little bit about the rules anyway. So you get points for killing monsters and collecting treasure, and you get double the points for talking to a merchant, but there are only 3 of these in each map. So basically you have one player who goes to it actually explains how 3 persons should do it. One should go to the right and then towards the boss. A second player should go towards the middle and then towards the boss, and the third player should go up and towards the boss. But what I normally do is I go with 2 players, and one goes up like this, and then to the middle, and then to the boss, and then the same for the second player like this. Well, Sika and Gormo like this, in this way. But it's basically the same idea if you go like that. And in solo I normally take the route up, then towards the middle, and then go here and then go up, and you should be able to collect 300 points as well. Only these 2 spots are a little bit annoying to get points in, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem, because you have more of a time limit in SS. So let's go to the rules here. There are actually 2 pages on this, and you can come here through the question mark located at the top right of your screen. So yeah, you can read about the ratings here. SS is 350 points in under 3 minutes. You get 5 draws and unlock the next difficulty. So once you're at your highest, which is for me 3-2, you can only use S clears, because it will still give you the 5 reward draws, and it will basically give you the same rewards. And you will have 4 minutes and 300 points to do that, and all the other ratings are pretty much not necessary. Well, you can take a look, you can stop the video and just read a little bit through it. You also got traps that deduct points, bypasses so you can skip battles, and portals that teleport you to random spaces, and eliminate that reveals the map for 10 seconds. There's only one of this one on the map always. And there are 3 of these goblin merchants. And the switches, you have to turn all 3 for the boss to be able to attack him. But make sure you don't attack him before you have the point requirement you need to do. Yeah, basically it will auto create a room for you at the moment. I think that might be removed in the next update. So if you go create a room, oh, I don't have enough chances, so I can't create a room, but you can either already call for your guild or in the world chat, or you can invite a friend, or you can wait for someone else to join your group. If you don't set a battle rate limit, then anyone can just join your group. But in cross server, so as far as it is now, there's no way to contact these persons directly. The only way to talk to a random cross server person at the moment is when you're actually inside the dungeon. but you actually have to spend some of your time then to discuss strategies, as the timer will be running at the top of your screen already, and you can't pretty much talk and write at the same time and try to move around the map, so you have to choose one of these. That's also why I like going with gold members, but yeah, not everyone has that luxury, or at least with someone in your server. But let's hope that will be better improved in the next version updates. So let's see, is there anything else to talk about here? I don't think so, so let's go to the runestone tab here. So you have 4 different runestones. You have a earth runestone, a water runestone, fire, and a wind runestone. So the wind runestone is a little bit about speed and hit. In the augment version you see also it adds a hit point. And it also is all the crystals itself are also giving hit points. So this one is giving hit and hit in the augmented screen itself. So yeah, you want to give this runestone to one you want to be very fast, and if you need a high hit rate on it. So the fire runestone is a real big damage runestone. It will give crit here and in the crystal. So if you need a runestone that dishes out damage for you, then you need this runestone. The water runestone is more of a defensive runestone. It increases your healing, and for the crystal it will increase your dodge. And the earth runestone is also a defensive runestone, and it will increase your endurance, which lowers your enemy's crit rate. So now that we are here in the augment screen, it works pretty much the same as augmenting a hero. You get these crystals from doing sweepers, and then the 5 picks at the end after you kill the boss. You can get these randomly, or you can buy them in the shop. And once you acquired 7, you can go to the next level, and that is that. And each augment level will also increase your stats and inscribe points. I will be talking about these in a little bit, but basically augmenting will increase the stats of your runestone. So the next step here is transmuting. What transmuting does, it will increase all resistances. It says elemental resist reduces all elemental damage that the unit receives. So it is pretty much a defense upgrade, and earth penetration is actually an attack upgrade. Resistance will lower the damage you receive, and penetration will increase the damage that you ignore when doing damage. And it can reduce the resistance into a negative where you do a lot of extra damage. So yeah, you can transmute it, and at some point it will level up and you will get the new stats. So next I want to go to inscribe. So this system is a little bit more difficult, and your allocated points, as I said before, depend on your augment level. Since my earth runestone is augmented to level 3, I will have 11 points to spend, and there are a lot of ways to go regarding this. It's a pretty big tree, and it will be pretty confusing at first what to take, but for my first few points I just went to the left of the tree, because earth attack and earth damage actually is added afterwards, so it's a pretty big boost over normal attack and defense. And you pretty much want this boost in the early stages, which increases your, well, it's resistance reduction. It's a little bit like dodge rate, but then for elemental damage and attack. And each runestone again has a higher resistance to some other. So let's start at wind. So wind is strong against earth, but it is weak against fire. It doesn't have any fire resistance on this ability point. The same for fire, it is strong against wind, but weak against water. Then the water rune is strong against fire, but it's weak against earth. And then lastly, the earth is strong against water, but weak against wind. So your first few points, you pretty much want to stay a little bit in this area, either go for defense HP and defense here or full HP here. There are small and big nodes, like on here you see the small nodes will give 2% attack and the big one will give 6%. It's the same here, they give 2, 2, 2 and then the last one gives 6%. So at a later point you actually will come towards the skills, which will cost markings, 100 markings, but at the moment they are not in the game yet and also don't know yet how they will be included. But it says they can be obtained from Dungeon Sweeper, so we will have to see how these are going to be added later on. And then another important point in the tree is this top right location. It adds a pretty big bonus to, it's pretty much one of the biggest node beside the skills to actually get at some point, but it will be a very long time until you get here, but it might be interested in knowing what it actually does. As you see for Earth, it increases your dodge rate, your damage reduction, which is a pretty big bonus actually, 15%. Then for the water tree, it will increase your healing by 15%, which is pretty nice as well for if you have a main or you are actually using a healer. And the fire, well, basically it increases crit, of course, critical damage 20%. And then the wind runestone will increase damage bonus, so this one will just increase your damage output. I won't really be going over the skills. You can read on your own which it does, but there are some. They are depending on the hero you have and the situation, so I can't really advise you on that either as much. And then the preview is pretty nice. You can pretty much point out your stats, how you want to go in the tree, and you can cancel at any point, and you can just check out and see at any point what is the best way to spend your points. And actually resetting isn't that expensive. It only costs like 1 or 2 or a little bit more if you are further in the tree, but compared to how many you have at a point, it's quite okay to switch around a lot. And yeah, if you want more information, I advise you to just go to the page and take a look at the rules yourself. They already add a lot of information, like what their main and secondary attributes are, and how it works, and how you get most of the things. So that's an advice in general. So I think I'll end my recording here. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you will enjoy the game.